Hola estudiantes! Today we're going to be looking at the present progressive tense. In English, for the most part, we use the verb to be. So I am, he is, or she is, or it is, we are, they are, you all are. And then a present participle, which is just a verb that ends in ing. So some examples: I am studying. We are walking. Maybe she is looking. But every one of these verbs has a conjugation of to be and then a present participle, which is just a verb ending in ing. Now we can change the verb up a bit. We could, instead of saying I am studying, we could say I continue studying, she keeps looking, things like that. But for the most part, we just start with to be. So that's what we're going to be doing in Spanish today, is just focusing on this to be and the present participle. Now, before we get into this, though, we've got to talk about some differences between the present progressive tense in Spanish versus the present progressive in English. So let's go back to just regular conjugations. You guys know if you take the verb hablar, that's just to speak. But if I want to say that I am speaking, I'm going to take off that AR and change it to an O. So hablo can translate in a few different ways. So I speak, I do speak, but also I am speaking. Now, am is a conjugation of to be, and ing is our present participle. So what we're seeing here is that this actually can translate into the present progressive. So because of that, the present progressive is used less often in Spanish. You would use the present progressive more just to say that something is happening right now. So it has a little bit more of a sense of immediacy, sometimes importance. I would tend to use the present progressive tense if I get interrupted on the phone. Hey, I am talking right now. Come bother me later. So the word ahora would maybe be helpful here. Ahora means now. There's also a word ahorita, which is right now. So those are some good words to be aware of. So let's look at the present progressive tense in Spanish. So we're going to start, just like we do in English, with the verb to be, and the verb that we will use for that is estar. So we know our conjugations of estar: estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están, and we know who those go with. So we'll change that verb based on who we're talking about. And then for the ing in English, it depends. If the verb is an AR verb, we will change that ending to ando. So if our verb is hablar, we will take off that AR, change it to ando, hablando. And then if it's an ER verb or an IR verb, the ending will be yendo. So let's look at some examples. This first one, we are speaking. So we is nosotros. And nosotros, hopefully we know, goes with estamos. And we've learned that nosotros is optional. You do not have to have that. And then to speak is hablar. So that's an AR verb. So we will use the AR ending there, ando. Estamos hablando. This next one, I am eating. So I is yo. Yo goes with estoy. To eat is comer. So comer ends in ER, so we're going to use yendo. So take off my ER, add yendo. Comiendo. Estoy comiendo. I am eating. Now, what are you doing? We need this word what. So that is que And then are you, so you is to. So the conjugation of estar to go with to is estás. And then to do is hacer. So we'll take off the ER. And then the ending is yendo, haciendo. ¿Qué estás haciendo? What are you doing? And then they are swimming. They is ellos. So ellos goes with están. And then swimming. To swim is nadar. So we will take off the AR and add ando. Están nadando. They are swimming. And of course we could say ellos or ellas están nadando. That would be fine. And then this last one, he is running. So he is él. Él goes with está. And then to run is correr. Take off that ER, add yendo. Está corriendo. Now, if you go into your ebook, we are right now in chapter 8. If you open up chapter 8 in your table of contents and click on El Presente Progresivo, that will take you here into the explanation that we just went through. But then down at the bottom it says that there are some irregular present participles that are common. And it says that you really just have to memorize these. And that is where you can start if you choose just to memorize them. But I want to go ahead and tell you the reasoning behind these. Now, first off, the verb ir, it's just irregular. You really do just have to memorize that. But there are reasons behind the rest of these. So all of the ones that I have circled in orange, they have an issue where when we add the yendo, so these are all ER and IR verbs. When we add that yendo, then we've got a vowel and then an I and then a vowel. So a little vowel sandwich going on there. And we just, in Spanish, we don't like that I in between the vowels. So anytime that would happen, we are going to change that I to a Y. So oyendo, trayendo, cayendo, leyendo. So that's the reasoning there. So that, I think, just kind of simplifies it. We don't like that I vowel sandwich. Now the ones in green are a much more complicated issue, so you may decide really just to memorize those, but I'll go through it just in case. I think that some of you probably would benefit from this. If you have an ER or an IR verb, so it ends in ER or IR, and it has a stem change in the present tense, E to I, E to IE, O to UE, that you have just learned a tad about so far, then you will only keep the I if it's E to I or E to IE, or only the U if it's O to UE in the present participle. So poder, the usted conjugation is puede, so it is O to UE. So that's where we end up with pudiendo. So we just kept the U. Decir, the usted conjugation is dice, so we are going to keep the I, diciendo. For venir, E to IE, remember we only keep the I, so viniendo. Dormir is O to UE, and again we only keep the U, so it is durmiendo. And then pedir is E to I, so we keep that I, pidiendo. I would say for now you probably really do just want to memorize those, but hopefully this vowel rule was helpful to you so that you don't have to specifically memorize those four as long as you understand that vowel rule.